Today we're holding the Graduating Engineers Conference. It's for all of our graduating engineers. They do a final year project, and many of them do a project with their an industry supervisor, and it will be in their chosen disciplines. So we have civil, mechanical and electrical students, and they do a year-long project effectively. So they'll start their planning. Most of them would have done their planning phase last year, and then in this term they've completed their project. So for most of them, this is sort of the end of their career as a student. They'll be finishing and going out into industry after this.
I'm doing the Mount Larkham water supply infrastructure proposal, and basically that's looking at the current capacity of the water network in Mount Larkham and then going on to look at improvements that can be made to that system. I can't wait to finish, and once the presentation's out of the way, then that's it. So it's a good way to sum up and finish off.
Yeah, thankfully when I was out in the workforce I got into scaffolding rigging, and I became very, I enjoyed it pretty much, and when I came across to pick a thesis subject, it just worked into the same, where I had a lot of issues from scaffolding that I wanted to raise and sort out through engineering solutions. And yeah, so that just kind of fell into my lap, and it's been going ever since. What it basically is scaffolders, the $1 million question is, how do they hook onto a harness, an anchor point, if there is no anchor point available? So generally scaffies, they'll just hook onto the ledges, standards, whatnot. And at the moment there's no documentation to say if any of those scaffold components are legally allowed to be used as anchor points. So my thesis is assessing those components to see if they'll hold a scaffolder falling off the edge, I guess.
Well, certainly the work placements are fantastic. It gives them an opportunity to go to different organisations. Really, particularly on their first work placement, it's really about finding out what it is to be an engineer. What do engineers really do? Because surprisingly, even after 2 years, I think a lot of times students still don't really understand what engineers do. They go out on their placement and they learn a huge amount about what it means to be an engineer. When they come back, they're a lot more committed to their studies because they have a much better idea about what it is that they will be doing once they are a graduate. And certainly, I think they understand why we're trying to teach them particular things as well. So it's a fantastic experience for them. And obviously, they're networking as well. So they're getting those industry contacts that are so valuable for them later in their career.
I'm an infrastructure planning engineer. I will be as of Monday. So I'll go in doing the same thing basically that have done for my project in all different water, sewage, roads and stormwater networks.
You know, straight out of high school, I haven't got a clue what's out there, so my old man was an engineer, so I thought, yeah, I'll go ahead and try it. But once I got into the workforce and I get into a few labour skills, I then realised that, yeah, I can see the possibility of myself becoming an engineer. Not so much a typical engineer, but more management side and all that.
Well, I've got a scholarship with the Gladstone Regional Council, so I've been with them for almost 3 years now. So basically I'll continue on working with them for as long as I can, basically.
And each year we have quite a number of students who do their second work placement overseas, and obviously that's a fantastic experience for them. Not only just the actual work experience, but the experience of being in a different culture, etc. as well. Obviously our students get paid while they're on work placement, so certainly for a lot of our students that's a very important part of the placement. But it really is about them growing towards becoming a professional engineer.